Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Caroline. I'm a current senior at the University of Illinois, and today I wanted to share 10 reasons why you should come to the U of I. It is currently college decision season, I guess you call it. It's March, and I've been seeing people learn that they have gotten admitted into the U of I, and so I thought this would be a perfect time to talk about why I love going to school here and the things that I would say should have influenced my decision when I was a freshman. I chose the U of I because as an in-state student, it made the most sense financially, and that was pretty much the end of my thought process. If I were to go back and to apply to colleges again, I think I would look at a different range of schools because I knew going into my applications that the U of I would probably be the school that made the most sense. As a freshman, I did have a little bit of a grudge because of why I chose to come here and feeling like I didn't have another option, but it didn't take long before I fell in love with this campus, and now I would highly recommend it to any prospective students. So I wrote out 10 things that I think should sway your decision to come here. Starting off with number 1, and this is sort of just a reason why you should go to a big school, is that when you go to a big school, you can find a small community. So yes, it may feel like you're a small fish in a big pond, but if you find that community, and there's so many different communities where you can find your people at the U of I, it really makes a big difference. Because the U of I is such a big school, it does make it so you will inevitably find people that you want to spend time with. Another great thing about being in a big school, and specifically I've experienced this at the U of I, is there are so many different majors. If you want to have a double major, a dual degree, pick up a minor, there are options for that, certificates, all sorts of things. I'm a psychology and advertising dual degree with a business minor. I'll explain what that means. A double major is when you have 2 majors that are in the same college. So if I was psychology and creative writing, both of those are in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, that would be a double major. However, because psychology is an LAS and advertising is in media, it's a dual degree. It was a little bit of a tricky process to get switched to having the dual degree, but it was possible, and I had some good advisors that were helping me every step of the way to be able to do that. Picking up the business minor was super easy, so I would highly recommend getting those minors, having more than one major if you can. Now, I get it, there are definitely majors that you probably wouldn't want to do that in, like some of the engineering ones or business. You may not want to have a double major. But if you have a major that has a lower course load, by all means, pick up more than one if more than one thing interests you, because that's going to make you more marketable when you're looking for a job later down the road. Same with having a minor. It's really makes the full picture. I always say I don't really identify as an advertising student, and I also don't really identify as a psychology student, but when you add the advertising psychology business minor, that's Caroline. Number 3 is the location of the U of I. I absolutely love the Midwest. I think it's perfect. I love that my family is here, so I know wherever my career takes me and wherever the Lord has me placed in my future, I will always come home to Urbana, Illinois to visit my parents. Maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I really think it's a perfect area. We're about 2 hours south of Chicago, so if you're from the Chicago suburbs or you make friends from the Chicago suburbs, it's the perfect little trip up to Chicago to visit people and to enjoy the city. But we're enough in the country that you can see the stars, you're surrounded by cornfields, there's beautiful parks nearby, but there's things to do. It's not just a boring town. So I absolutely love the geography of Urbana-Champaign. Number 4 is the environment of campus ministries and churches. As a believer, it was very important to me that I joined a campus ministry right when I came to college. And so I went around to a few. I went to Navigators, I went to InterVarsity, I went to Young Life. There's also Alpha and Omega. There's Christians on Campus, there's CU College Age. There's so many different campus ministries that you can be part of. I ended up joining Cru, which I absolutely love and would highly recommend it to anyone. I'm never going to feel bitter at someone for not choosing Cru if they choose a different campus ministry instead, but I'm biased. Like, I chose Cru for a reason. I love it. Having that Christian community when you come to college is super important if you are also a believer. There are also lots of churches TCBC, which is where I go to church, is within walking distance of campus. CU Church is also within walking distance. That one's a little bit farther. People also drive to church, so if you join a campus ministry, I'm sure you can find a ride to a church that's a little bit farther off campus. Also, all of the campus ministries work together, and one thing that demonstrates that is all campus worship, which is something that happens every semester where all of the different ministries come together for a worship night and a guest speaker. Number 5 is community engagement. I think it's pretty easy here to have a life outside of campus or to get involved in things outside campus. As a college student, probably most of your activities will be centered around college experiences. However, the Urbana Free Library is super close to campus. The Champaign Library is also close to campus. You can go there to study, check out books, get a library card, get involved with the community. I've done class projects that work with community organizations. I know people that have gone and tutored at some of the schools that are local. There are parks nearby, and I love going on walks in the Urbana streets because it reminds me that there's life outside of the college environment where you have a bunch of 18 to 22-year-olds crammed into a few city blocks. There is a life outside of that. You can walk through the Urbana streets and see all of the houses where families live, walk by schools, and etc. Next up is the Research Park. I actually work at Research Park as a communications and social media intern, and I've been there for about 2 years. But the Research Park is an area of campus, so it's actually on campus. It's a little bit of a walk away from the main quad, but it still is part of the U of I campus. And there are over 100 companies ranging from startups to Fortune 500 companies that want to invest in students and hire you for internships and jobs all year round. It's a really great way to level up in your career, to get some experience without having to sublease your apartment for the summer or take a semester off to do a co-op. It's on campus and it's really awesome for, especially if you're an engineer or in business, but also as a communications person, there are opportunities there for you too. I think this is number 7, and that is all of the student organizations that are here. There are over 800 RSOs, or registered student organizations, at the University of Illinois, so there is something for everyone. Not only is there something for everyone to join, but there is something for everyone to get leadership in. Maybe not everyone. I guess if you boiled it down, not everyone who goes to the U of I is going to have a leadership role in an RSO. But if that is something that you are interested in, there is an opportunity for you. Whether it's on an exec board or on a committee, you can do leadership in a club, which is a great resume builder. When I was a freshman, I was in like 6 RSOs, and I have since pulled back a little bit, but it shows how many options there are for you. Being involved in 6 RSOs was really crazy. I think I had RSOs every night, basically, of the week, and I would sometimes be double booking myself. I remember once being on 2 Zooms at once. It was crazy. It didn't take me too long. I think sophomore year, I sort of cut out. I think sophomore year, I was in 4 RSOs. I think freshman year, I was in 5, and then 4, and then 2. Just because I found what I liked more. So now I'm in crew, and then I'm the president of Harmony Ballet, which is a ballet club on campus that I love, but then I was involved in some more professional organizations when I was an underclassman. Starting my job at Research Park and being on leadership for crew and president for my ballet club, I realized I didn't have time to do 5 RSOs like I did freshman year. But if you are a freshman, definitely get involved in as much as you can, because you're gonna find out through your involvement what you actually are really interested in. Number 8 is the sporting events. I am a big Illinois fan, love Illinois basketball. To be sitting in the Orange Crush and to be on the court and to see the players run in front of you in all of their 7-foot nature, it's just such an experience, and it's so fun to do with your friends. The next thing I wanted to talk about was housing. One thing I love about the U of I is you don't have to stay in the dorms. Past your freshman year, you have a 1-year living in requirement. And if you don't like the dorm vibe, you could also choose to live in private certified housing. I've had friends that live in Stratford House and Koinonia. Those are Christian cooperative housings for boys and girls. Also like 4-H House, you can live in there as a freshman. And then there's other private certified housing that are more dorm styles. So I lived in Nugent. I have videos on my channel from back in the Nugent days, and it was a beautiful dorm, wonderful service. Like, the building service workers were great. There were a ton of food options, but it just wasn't for me. I recognize that other people do like it, but I knew that I wanted to be in an apartment as soon as I could. I moved into an apartment my sophomore year and absolutely love it. I'm so happy that there are options for apartments on campus or really close to campus that are affordable. If you do not like dorm life, there is an option on campus. People also live in sororities and fraternities. There are so many options. The final reason that you should come to the U of I, and this isn't ending with a bang or anything, is the transportation. Our campus is very walkable, which I love. It's also bikeable. And I guess by walkable, I mean you can walk just about anywhere you need to go. I think Michigan, it's like their campus is two separate things and you like can't walk between them. U of I is not like that. I walk to Research Park, which is about a 30-minute walk from where I live, and I know that's long, but there are buses that I could take if I wanted to, and some days I do take the bus. I just love going on walks, so I'm gonna walk. But most things are centralized within like a 15-minute walking radius, I would say. Also, if you aren't a big walker, the buses are great. The bus system, it was a little bit sketchy my freshman year, I think, because getting back after COVID, but now it's pretty good. It can get you just about wherever you need to go. I can't speak too much to parking and driving on campus because I don't have a car. I know parking is expensive and a little bit trickier, so I would just recommend the walking, the biking, the bus. It's also just so pretty, so when you're walking on it, and it's crazy because as a freshman, I had such a grudge against everything, and now I love Illinois. I guess that's another thing that I should say as a disclaimer. Yes, you should come to the University of Illinois, but also if you come here and it's not perfect, if you come here and you're not happy, if you come here and you feel lonely, you are not alone. I felt so lonely my freshman year, and it gets better. And if it doesn't get better, there are resources to support you. I could talk about the campus resources that they have available for students, but the one resource that really helped me is my relationship with the Lord. And being in Cru and having Cru's resources poured into my faith really changed the game. Reading my Bible in a year, my freshman year, really made my life better. That's something that I would highly recommend if you are not a believer. The University of Illinois has plenty of resources that are not spiritual because this is a secular university. Anyway, I hope this helped you with your decision making. I really hope you come to the University of Illinois because it has changed my life for the better, and I hope it can do the same for you. I'll see you in my next video.